This is Beretta 92X Compact versus CZ P-09c Nocturne, a compact 9mm duty gun comparison. Though we have more than 2,000 rounds now through our P-09c Nocturne, it's time to put to the test against another very popular compact 9mm pistol. Today, it will be going head-to-head against the Beretta 92XC. This is the compact version of the 92. I don't know how much more compact it is than the full-size 9mm 92, but it's at least marketed as compact, so we'll give it a go. Both of these firearms would be considered duty firearms, and they have decockers. My Beretta here has just the straight decocker. My 92 FS full-size has the safety decocker, I want to say, but this one is decocker only, very similar to what's on our P-09c Nocturne. When the hammer is decocked, both these firearms, the first shot would be that long double action trigger pull. All your subsequent shots would be your single action mode. And of course, if you'd like to, you can manually cock the hammer. Though most people who carry this firearm would carry it hammer down, where that long double action trigger pull acts as a sort of safety for them, and then their follow-up shots are in single action mode. We're out here at the Gong course today. Let's do a magazine of each firearm, starting today at the 12-inch Gong that's out at about 13-14 yards. Our first shot through our pistols will be on that long double action trigger, with our subsequent shots being single action mode. The Beretta that we're shooting today, that we're going to start the video, at 13 round magazines. Our CZ has 15 round magazines. Once we get through these first two magazines, we'll probably only load 10 rounds in each, just for nice round numbers. Here we go, 13 shots, 12-inch Gong. With the majority of the range today, I'm not sure how many of those hit the Gong. I want to say all of them. It's probably not all of them. We'll put a little number in the corner of the screen, a hit counter, so we can tell. But now let's do our CZ P-09c Nocturne. Make sure our sight is turned on. The Nocturne will have the advantage today in that it has the Holosun 507K micro red dot attached to it. And since it's mounted to it, we might as well use it for our shots. Here we go. 15 shots at the 12-inch Gong. First shot, double action. Okay, both firearms very easily put hits on that 12-inch Gong. Let's do a second magazine now, and we will shoot at the center vitals clacker on the silhouette target out there. Same as before, we'll do our first shot from the double action mode. The next 12 to 14, depending on the firearm, will be in single action. Starting with the Beretta, here we go. Okay, that round didn't fire. We'll have to pick it up and see if it's just a bad one. Hey, no lockback here. Let's look at this one. Okay, we have very clean, deep impact on the primer. I'll put it in one more time. So this one looks like a bad round. Here we go. Okay. Let's set that aside. Okay. We might try it through the CZ once the CZ is through its magazine here. It looked like with our Beretta, the majority of our hits were in that Vitals clacker. Let's see if the CZ can match it. Here we go. Okay, let's put that round through the CZ and see what happens. We might have put quite a few of those just above the Vitals clacker, but on the silhouette target. Okay, that round is just a bad round. It's not going against the Beretta. That primer has been hit about as well as you could hit it. All right, load, and maybe take some shots at the pistol tree to finish out the day. Before we get there, let's first take a brief break from the range to go over the specs and features of the two firearms we're looking at today. The CZ P-09c Nocturne is a compact double-stack magazine pistol chambered in 9mm Luger. It is 7.3 inches long, 5.4 inches high, 1.5 inches wide, and weighs in at 26.1 ounces unloaded. The pistol has a 3.74-inch cold hammer-forged steel barrel. It comes with a 3 white dot luminescent sight system. For a safety, it has a decocker that can be converted into a thumb safety that is ambidextrous. It has a double action to single action trigger, is external hammer fired using a short recoil locked breech action, and depending on where you live, comes with either 10 or 15 round magazines. Some other important notes on the Nocturne are, it has a steel slide and a steel barrel. The frame is a fiberglass reinforced polymer. This firearm uses CZ's Omega trigger system, allowing you to convert it from decocker to safety and vice versa. The Nocturne is optics ready without needing a plate for the Holosun K and Shield RMSC footprints. It has iridescent, aka glow-in-the-dark sights, and to accommodate different size hands, has replaceable grip back straps. Where I live, it comes with two 15-round magazines. The Beretta 92 FSX Compact is also a double-stack magazine-fed pistol chambered in 9mm Luger. It has an overall length of 7 3/4 inches, height of 5 1/4 inches, width of 1.29 inches, and weighs in at 27.2 ounces unloaded. This firearm has a 4.3-inch steel barrel. For sights, it has a red dot front sight with an anti-glare rear sight. It comes with a decocker, though you can also convert that to being a safety. The trigger is double action to single action. It is recoil operated with a tilting block lock breech and is external hammer fired. When I purchased this pistol, it came with 13 round magazines, with 10 round magazines available in restricted states, though now you can get it with 15 round magazines. Some important notes on the Beretta Compact. It too has a steel barrel and slide, though it has an aluminum frame. It has a decocker that you can also convert to a safety and vice versa. The 92 FSX Compact, where the X stands for the Extreme S trigger system, which compared to the stock 92 has a lighter both double action and single action trigger pull, and a shorter length of the reset. This firearm comes with the Vertec grip system, giving you some customization options for different hand sizes. And when I purchased this firearm, it came with 3 13-round magazines. It's also worth mentioning here for the Beretta aficionados that the firearm I'm shooting in today's video is a little older model that's no longer available. Mine does not have the attachment rail and is not optics ready. The more recent versions of this firearm come optics ready, though you do need a plate to mount that optic. They also have a 3-slot Picatinny rail, forward slide serrations, and the firearm now comes with 15-round magazines. Comparing the sights between these firearms, here you can see the 3-dot iridescent sight system that came with the P-09c Nocturne versus the front red dot anti-glare rear sight system that came with the 92 FSX Compact. For triggers, the P-09c Nocturne has the Omega trigger. The double action mode, it's around 9.5 pounds, half cock around 7.5 pounds, and in single action mode, around 4.5 pounds. Those numbers are far from spectacular, especially when compared to the Extreme S trigger off our Beretta, which has a double action trigger around 7 pounds and a single action trigger around 3 pounds. All those numbers are off my gauge. Field stripping both firearms requires no tools. Here we can see the P-09c field stripped, where to field strip it, you line up the notch in the frame in the slide and pull out the slide stop, which allows you to then remove the slide and break down the pistol. On our 92 Compact, you lock the slide back, articulate down the takedown lever, which then allows you to remove the slide and further break down the pistol. Again, you don't need tools to field strip either firearm. If you were looking just at a notable features list of these firearms, you might not think there's much difference, with them both being double stack magazine fed, optics ready, double action, single action, external hammer fired, attachment rail. Though there are some important differences, and some pretty big ones at that, differences between these firearms. The Beretta has the aluminum frame compared to a polymer frame on the Nocturne. It is about 1 ounce heavier at 27.2 ounces versus 26.1 ounces. It has a longer barrel at 4.3 inches compared to 3.7 inches. Both pistols have manufacturer, what we'll call name brand triggers, with the edge going to the Extreme S trigger, where it is marketed as having both the lighter single action and double action trigger compared to what we'll call the stock 92 trigger, as well as a shorter reset. Also, and this one's more obvious, the Beretta has the open slide versus what we'll call the enclosed slide of the Nocturne. The Beretta also is a direct feed from the magazine pistol, meaning it does not have a feed ramp, whereas the Nocturne does have a feed ramp attached to the barrel to help feed rounds from the magazine into the barrel. The Beretta has an external trigger bar compared to the internal trigger bar spring on the Nocturne. Both pistols are optics ready, though with the Beretta, you need a plate no matter what optics you choose, whereas on the Nocturne, if it has a Holosun K or Shield RMS footprint, you don't need a plate. And important to some, the Beretta 92X Compact is made in the USA, while the P-09c Nocturne is still made in the Czech Republic. To round out the graphics portion of today's video, let's finish with a size comparison between these two pistols. You can see that the grip on the Nocturne might be slightly longer, while the barrel and slide of the Beretta 92 Compact are a little longer, and there's a slightly different grip angle between these two pistols. Okay, we will do 2 partial magazines to finish out the day. Starting with the CZ this time, the first magazine will only have 9 in it because I had an even number of rounds, but not enough to do 10 in each magazine, so we could do 9 in each magazine. We'll do 9 at the pistol tree, starting at the top target, where if I hit the top target, we'll move to the bottom target. If I then hit the bottom target, we'll move to the top target, and back and forth until we're out of ammo. We'll reload, and I'll do 10 shots as 5 double taps at the 12-inch gong. Here we go. Starting with the CZ. First shot will be double action. Okay, we'll say 3 hits on the pistol tree out of 9, not that great. Last 10 is 5 double taps at our 12-inch gong. Here we go. Okay, maybe 5 or 6 of 10, somewhere in that neighborhood. Not exactly spectacular, but hey, at least we put some hits on the gong. Okay, let's repeat now with our Beretta. Same sequence. Hey, that double action shot hitting it got us overconfident, thinking that we could do a bunch better. Turns out we only did 1 on the pistol tree. Womp, 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 womp. All right, 10 at our 12-inch gong. Here we go. Okay. Some things maybe a little better with the Beretta, some things a little better with the CZ. I'll save the breakdown for our conclusion. It's time to dig into that conclusion. In today's video, we saw 2 excellent, compact duty firearms in action. Both firearms are very accurate, they're very reliable. As being compact firearms, they're easy to carry, they have high capacity, yada, yada, yada. They have a lot of similarities between them, between the external hammer fire, the double action to single action triggers, the attachment rails on the newer Beretta being optics ready, just like the Nocturne, though there's that plate issue. Though, as we saw earlier in the video, there are also quite a few differences between these 2 firearms. One that we didn't mention is price. P-09c Nocturne is priced in the $500 ballpark, whereas the Beretta 92 Compact is in that $700 ballpark, which is probably starting to leave the realm of budget-friendly, at least as far as our channel goes. So you may be wondering, is the Beretta $200 better? Well, as we saw in most of our target shooting here today, other than our first segment where the firearm shot 100% of hits on the gong, in our silhouette target shooting and our double tap shooting, the Beretta won. And there are those out there who would say it won handily and it wasn't close. Though, maybe as a consolation prize, the Nocturne did win the pistol tree portion of the day, though 3 versus 1 hits out of 9, neither spectacular for that matter. A lot of the difference, some people will say, is going to be the optics ready versus the iron sights, and how I've shot a whole lot more with iron sights. And maybe that does slightly come into play, though I think the biggest influence on our results today was the trigger. The Extreme S trigger on my 92 Compact, while being a couple pounds lighter all the way around, to some that might not seem like much, though as I've mentioned in previous videos, a couple pounds difference in both the single action or double action trigger can make a world of difference in terms of your results on target. Another factor is the length of the reset. The reset on the Beretta is much shorter and smoother, and the trigger overall is nowhere near as what I would call mushy compared to the P-07, or P-09c in this case, which taken into consideration, what we'll call a better trigger all the way around, at least for me, translated to much better results on target, and which is saying something when you consider that as of late I fired thousands of rounds through the Nocturne, and I had not shot that Beretta in, I don't know, 6 months or a year before shooting it for this video. So that just goes to show you, at least in my opinion, how much a good trigger can mean the world of difference. So does that trigger equate to $200 difference? Well, with Beretta selling the Extreme S trigger as an add-on or additional part for, say, your stock 92 firearm, there is some cost there. And another factor to toss in on that cost is the difference between 2 magazines versus 3. Depending on where you live, that third magazine might be $40 or $50. So there is that lumped into the price as well. So would I say the Beretta shot $200 better than the Nocturne? I would have to say it did. Overall, I shot the pistol better. And while I don't have 15-round magazines for the Beretta, going 13 for 13 on the gong or 9 of 10 in the double taps compared to, I think, 6 of 10 in the double taps and, well, similar 15 for 15 on the 12-inch gong, that more hits on target with a better trigger. At least I think it's worth it. And while it's more expensive, it's not significantly more expensive. It's just almost significantly more expensive. So anyway, we did see 2 excellent duty compact firearms in today's video. And where you lean probably depends on if you're a fan of a going on 50-year-old design or one that's more like 20 years old. But either way, both these firearms are excellent pistols. They're reliable, they're accurate, and whichever one you choose, it'll be an excellent pistol for you. Well, anyway, that seems like the perfect spot to end today's video. If you enjoyed the video, like the video, share it with your friends and family, drop a comment on there. Those things are free and they really help the channel greatly. If you'd like to help us make more of these videos in the future, look into becoming a member. Fred and I really appreciate you getting this far. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a good day. If you haven't been to our website in a while, check out TheBaconNation.com. In addition to posting links to recent videos, there's a section on our website for all of the 380s that we featured on the channel so far. Each of these sections has a breakdown with information on the firearm. Some of them have ammo test breakdown, like say for this ADX Cheetah. There's some comparison images, so if you're interested in things like how does the ADX Cheetah compare to the Bodyguard 2.0, you can easily see that. Some of them have our bacon raking built in, as well as links to videos on those firearms. There's a section for the non-380 firearms that we're featuring, like for example, say the CZ P-09c Nocturne, where you get much of the information on the P-09c Nocturne and graphics that we've used in previous videos. There's also a section for the ammo test that we've done so far. So for example, the Aguila mini shell video that we've done recently, if you'd like to see information on that ammo, that's available on our website. There's also a section for some gear reviews that we've done, as well as how we've ranked the 380 so far, including what we feel is the best 380. And if you're into our wildlife photography, some of the wildlife pictures that we've used are also on our website. So again, if you haven't been there in a while, go to TheBaconNation.com.